Welcome back to Barcelona for our coverage of the GT Sports Club Race 1 of 2 this weekend, the final encounters for our gentleman driver of the 2019 season. Hello everybody, welcome back. I'm Martin Haven at a sweltering Circuit de Catalunya here just outside Montmeló. The air temperature is hovering around, well, now back down from the high of 30 to 26.5 degrees. Track temperature also starting to drop a little. Was up into the 40s, now down 35 degrees. However, inside these cars, the drivers will be working extremely hard, and the cockpit temperatures will be going up from a nice balmy 30 degrees or so where they are now, probably to close on double that. So getting ready for our first race, 45-minute encounter. And the man who sits on pole position is Russia's Denis Remenyako in his AMG Mercedes. The Russian driver currently lying in 6th position in the points. Winner in Spa of the last race of the GT Sports Club. He was 2nd in the first encounter at Spa back in July. Jens René Müller, our points leader, he lines up on the outside of the front row of the grid in his Honda, run by his own team. 4 wins for him, 2 second places as well. He swept Monza, 2nd in Le Castellet race 1, won back-to-back races in Misano and then the first encounter at Spa before taking 2nd to Remenyako in race 2 at Spa. So comfortable championship leader. He's got a 38-point lead over Murad Sultanov in the Kessel Racing Ferrari, but this Ferrari, the number 7 car of Luigi Lucchini, run by BMS Scuderia Italia with their familiar red and white stripe roof. You will see that once the sunshade comes off. That car lines up in 3rd on the grid. 4th is Murad Sultanov, the man who lies 2nd in the championship. And he might be as much worried about the man that is right behind him on the grid, line astern, Coach McKenzie, who is in 3rd in the championship points and is 21 points behind him. So Remenyako and Renaud Müller on row 1, Lucchini and Sultanov in their Ferraris on row 2. Row 3 of the grid is the first of the Audis, Angelique de Tavernier, with Coach McKenzie alongside in his, de Tavernier in Lamborghini and McKenzie in Lamborghini. James Sofronas, the first of the Audis, and this is a GT2 spec Audi, very different indeed. Of course, a Ferrari of Fangio alongside, like all the other cars on the grid, is in GT3 spec. Iron points leader Stephen Earle starts in 10th place in the 111 Ferrari. His closest rival right behind in car number 50. And the top titanium driver in the field starts a little further ahead. That is Coach McKenzie. And the one significant name missing from the field, who went out in paid training yesterday but did not do free practice or qualifying today, is Lee Mole. His Mercedes is not in the field. And Lee Mole, who lay 4th in the championship and 2nd in the Titanium Cup, is certainly going to score nothing here today. And whether or not he is able to race tomorrow, he would have to start from the back of the grid, having not done the qualifying session for race 1 and race 2. Whether the car is fixable or not entirely sure whether it's an issue personally for Lee or for the car. Jens René Müller, our points leader then, and with a handy 38-point advantage over Murad Sultanov, but it is a 2-race weekend. It is doable, potentially. Coach McKenzie might be a bigger threat for Sultanov than Sultanov is for Müller, but racing has a habit of changing things around. Effectively 4th now, Mario Cordoni, but he's not here either. So with Lee Mole and Cordoni missing, it is a bit of an open goal for Denis Remenyenko. But he needs a good race here. So Remenyenko, starting from pole position, could jump up at least 2 places if he can take the 25 points for winning the race. Field getting away. 1 GT2 car in there making its debut. That's the Audi R8 GT2. James Sofronas, the American driver, in that black and day-glow yellow liveried car. That shot is actually quite hurting my head. I have to lean back a little bit and close my eyes. The safety car leading the field around. And there is the Mercedes, the only Mercedes in the race today of Dennis Remignaco. And Remignaco just ahead of Jens Reiner Müller. Car number 14 there, the Black Huracan of Angelique de Tavernier, the Belgian driver. And behind her is the green Tiger car of Coach McKenzie. Maybe one of the least German names I've heard in a German licensed racing driver, but nevertheless, McKenzie leading the Titanium Cup, and that is for drivers between the ages of 50 and 59. The Iron Cup, led by Dr. Stephen Earle, for drivers aged 60 plus. Although, if you ever talk to Stephen Earle about racing, then the fact that he's over 60 is the very least of your thoughts. The fact that he's got the enthusiasm of a 10-year-old boy for all of this still is the overwhelming result of chatting to Stephen Earle. So the field comes round. At the tail is the pale blue Lamborghini Gallardo of Pierre Felicioni. And there's the 55 Ferrari of Federico Fangio. Not sure how distant the relationship is, whether it's just a common name in the particular part of Italy that Federico's family come from. May well be the same that the legendary Juan Manuel's family originally came from as well, because although Fangio famously, of course, was Argentine born and bred, the family originally came from Italy. So getting ready to start this race with the Mercedes on pole position. The inside run down to the right, left, right sequence, turn 1 and 2 into turn 3. This Spanish Grand Prix circuit here in Catalonia, forming up into 2x2 formation then, with the Mercedes and the Honda on the front row, and all Ferrari row 2, with Luigi Lucchini and Murad Sultanov on row 2. Angelique de Tavernier and Coach McKenzie row 3, all black and green respectively. So let's see who makes the better of the starts. Certainly the better of the race results have gone the way of Jens Reiner Müller in the Honda. But can the NSX make the best of it here? He's a bit to the left of his grid slots, and a bit to the right was the Mercedes. And the Honda is ahead at the charge down the hill. Now, whether he was ahead before the line or not remains to be seen. 45 minutes to sort this out, and contact from behind. Muratov trying to stick his nose down the inside. He goes through the front row men and into the lead. The Honda of Müller in second place, and our pole sitter Remignaco taking it easy, being cautious, in third place. The Audi up to fourth of James Sofronas. So nothing wrong with his ability for rolling starts. That's a lot of American racing experience. Coach McKenzie in fifth position. Sixth position, number 7, Luigi Lucchini. Not a great start for him from third place on the grid. Being a little overcautious with the red and white of BMS Scuderia Italia. 55 behind him, Federico Fangio. So Coach McKenzie, the Titanium Cup leader, up to 5th. Stephen Earle in 1-1-1, in the middle of the shot there, in 9th position. And he's been jumped to the start as well. So Rick Lovett getting by him halfway around the opening lap. Now the question is, can Sultanov, having grabbed the lead, clear off? Slight secondary issue is, what is the GT2 Audi going to do here in the terms of 45-minute race? It's a venture into the unknown for Sofronas and for the team running this car, and certainly for all of us watching, to see where the GT2 car shakes out in all of this. Well, there from the final spot on the grid, Pierre Feligioni has moved up the order in his Gallardo, the oldest of the Lamborghinis in the race. So Murat Sultanov leading the race from Jens Reiner Müller. And Denis Remignaco in third. James Sofronas showing his nose. Decides better against a deep lunge on the second lap, the first flying lap. And coming a little back up the order is Pavel Strukov in the black and chrome Ferrari. Gets back ahead of Pierre Feligioni. And Louis-Philippe Sonnen, the closest Iron Cup rival to Stephen Earl, has dropped to the tail of the field in his Ferrari 488. Denis Remignaco in the Mercedes. Grabbed pole position. This is only his 5th race of the season. There have been 8 already. He raced in Circuit Paul Ricard. Now take a look at Muratov coming down the inside of the front row starting Honda. He didn't get a bad start. Look at Lucchini in the BMS Scuderia Italia car on the extreme left. Not sure what happened to him. And a challenge for the lead from Jens Reiner Müller. Sultanov holds on and Müller runs off wide. And Demyanenko goes through into second place. And with the closely packed lead group, Jens Reiner Müller might have done a little better not to show his hand so early. He had a bit of a lunge, it didn't work for him. And he ended up not going one forward, but going one back. So Sultanov and Müller now becomes Sultanov and Remignaco. And the pole city Mercedes driver making sure that the Ferrari in front doesn't get away. James Sofronas down the inside in the Audi, and through he goes. Controlled that nicely under braking. Not sure whether James has raced here at Circuit de Catalunya before. Said in practice and qualifying, he's got plenty of experience in North American tracks. He's done a degree of European racing. Don't know how much he's done here in Barcelona. But either way, he now clearly has enough track time. There's the Kessel Racing Ferrari of Rick Lovett. So the Canadian losing ground again in the Iron Cup to Stephen Earl and to Louis-Philippe Sonnen, who now moves ahead of him by dint of Lovett going off and dropping out of the race. The battle on between the Ferrari and the Mercedes. The Audi's getting in there as well. And actually, effectively, Sofronas will be invisible as far as these 3 or 4 cars are concerned, because it's his first outing in the championship. GT2 car not going to be taking points away from them. Down the inside, that was a bold move. Remignaco. I think it probably caught Sultanov as much by surprise as it did us. It's not a common place to pass, but he clearly saw the opportunity. That's interesting. Now, any of the teams in the GT Endurance Cup who are watching this may well be going, very interesting to see Mercedes make a move on a Ferrari at that particular point of the race. I shall store that in for future use, both for Ferrari and Mercedes drivers. Here comes Sofronas, looking for second place, down the inside. And through he goes. Again, as on the previous lap, that was a neatly made pass. So, Denis Remignaco, the race leader. James Sofronas up into second. And Murat Sultanov in third place. And Jens Reiner Müller is right there in the Honda Accord as well. Coach McKenzie in the black and green Lamborghini, ahead of Luigi Lucchini in the red and white Ferrari. So that's your top half dozen. They're starting to creep away now. Lucchini is nearly 2 seconds ahead of Federico Fangio. Fangio in 7th place, Stephen Earle in 8th, the leading Iron Class contender. And up to 9th has gone the car that is second in titanium, and that is Delanta Malagumawa. Coach McKenzie, 5th place. Right behind the Honda is the Lamborghini, car number 17. McKenzie with that green and black, Green Tigers livery on the car. At the moment, it looks like Luigi Lucchini in the BMS Ferrari might have a little more pace, but he got it all wrong in the chicane at the end of the lap and has dropped back a little. Is the Mercedes pulling away? Well, Sofronas had his fastest race lap last time round, and Remignaco with a new fastest lap of the race, 1 minute 50.022 to 1 minute 50.449. And this is Angelique Tavernier trying to have a deep lunge down the inside of the blue Lamborghini of Delanta Malagumawa. She didn't get through for 9th place. There's a close battle. And they are all following Stephen Earle in the 111 Ferrari. 2 different Ferrari reds in this field. 55 car of Federico Fangio is the traditional Rosso Corsa, and the other 2 red Ferraris are much more in the modern sort of Formula 1 day-glowy. It's not the same, is it really, although they pretend that it absolutely is Ferrari red. And at the moment, he is hanging on just in front of the Lamborghinis that give chase. So there is Stephen Earle in his red Ferrari. And behind the blue Lamborghini, Deltan Malagumawa, car number 24. And Angelique de Tavernier, and through they both go. And once the door was opened, either both or neither of them were going to get through. And in the end, Stephen Earle allowed them to go through. His battle, as such, is with Louis-Philippe Cernan, who is still behind. And the race leader, Denis Remignaco. Last time round, 149.34 to 150.13 of the chasing James Sofronas in the GT2 Audi. So the leader is again setting another fastest lap. Sofronas, a personal best. Everybody's doing personal best laps at the moment, but nobody can handle the pace of the Mercedes out front. Antoine Muller in 4th place, behind Murad Sultanov. These are the top 2 in the championship. In the 11 Honda, Jens Muller with a 38-point advantage over the man right in front of him. So by sitting on Sultanov's boot lid, he limits the damage that the Russian can do. And behind Coach McKenzie, behind Renaud Muller, is 3rd in the standings. So at the moment, Sultanov is creeping away from Coach McKenzie. And Renaud Muller also gaining ground on McKenzie. The big gains, though, may well go the way of Denis Remignaco. Here he is leading the race. Won the last encounter. To all the world as though this one is going to go the same way. Problems for the number 14 Lamborghini, Angelique de Tavernier. Oh, just chasing the throttle a little too hard, perhaps, behind Delanta Malagumawa. And too much curb. That first curb really unsettles the car badly. Now, did she get herself out of the gravel trap, or is she stranded? There are no yellow flags out. She looks like she's got herself going. And actually, number 12 car is going again as well, Rick Lovett. So the Iron Cup car continues to race on. Rick Lovett, third in the Iron Cup standings, third in the Iron Cup positions in the race. Louis-Philippe Sonnen, second in the Iron Cup standings, second in the race. And Stephen Earle leading the Iron Cup standings and currently leading the race for Iron Cup drivers as well. In fact, in terms of his Iron Cup rivals, Stephen Earle has only been beaten once, and that was by Louis-Philippe Sonnen in the first race at Le Castellet, where Earle was off the podium. It was Sonnen, Lovett, and the now absent Bernd Kleinbach. That was the top three. Top three here: Denis Ramanyako, James Safronas, and Murad Sultanov. But effectively, in terms of points, Sultanov second in the black and day glow Ferrari, and in the mostly black with a touch of Danish red Honda. Oh, quite a big touch on the bonnet, I'll give you that. Jens Reiner Moller, he's effectively third, because the Audi in second, the black and day glow yellow car of James Safronas, GT2 spec car, and that's on its first outing. A long while since we've seen a brand new GT2 car racing anywhere. Long gap back up the order before we get the blue Lamborghini of Delanta Malagamua. He's in 8th. Stephen Earle in 9th. And then the gaggle behind, ever changing in position, with Angelique de Tavernier dropping back down the order. Seven laps completed by the leaders, and 2 fewer by Rick Lovett. Not sure where he is on the circuit. He's just completed the lap, so he's quite a way behind them, in front of them, behind them, depending on which way you slice it. Challenge here from the Honda, again looking to go around the outside, and again same problem. Got in a little too deep on brakes. The Ferrari had all it needed to stay in front there. And Jens Moller trying to get by Murad Sultanov, almost losing ground to the green and black Lamborghini of Coach McKenzie. There is McKenzie in car number 17, and he needs to be cautious as well, because right behind him, Luigi Lucchini. So top 2 might be away and gone, but 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th come across the line as quick as you can say it. There's the Mercedes, Ramanyako, Safronas in the still quite odd-looking Audi. We will get used to that, I'm sure, very quickly. And here, BMW Scuderia Italia Ferrari of Luigi Lucchini, car number 7. Still a great-looking livery. Dated well from the 90s and beyond, or earlier than that. BMW Scuderia Italia using that white noseband on the red and their red and white stripes on the roof. Championship winners in early iterations of the FIA GT Championship. Moment, Luigi Lucchini keeping Coach McKenzie here in this green and black Lamborghini honest. He in his turn piling pressure on Jens Reiner Moller in the Honda. And Moller in his turn too, piling pressure on the man who comes to the camera now, Murad Sultanov. So the Dane trying to unsettle the Russian. Never quite lets him rest anywhere. A difficult balance between piling the pressure on and continue trying to upset the rhythm of the driver in front and keeping your own tyres alive. Stephen Earle in 111 in the middle of this battle. Looks again as though he was having a little look at Delanta Malaga-Mua's Lamborghini Huracan, the dark blue car. Right behind is the Lamborghini Gallardo of Pier Feligioni. Battle for third at turn 1. Again, you see the Ferrari dive so that splitter is right on the tarmac. James Sofronas in second place in the Dayglow Audi, just hit the fastest first sector of them all. Again on this last lap, but the overall lap time was a 50.25 compared to the 49.46 of the leader, Denis Remignaco. So Remignaco is still pulling away. And the lead gap is now out to a very comfortable 5 seconds. From Sofronas back to this battle, Sofronas back to Sultanov is 2.3 seconds. Sultanov back to Muller, half a second. McKenzie 0.8 back. And Lucchini now dropping away a little. But James Sofronas with WRT giving Audi's brand new GT2 R8 LMS its debut. The R8 has been such a successful GT3 car. Interesting to see what happens with the GT2 principle. How many manufacturers build cars, how many have got some already being worked up. The HB Racing Lamborghini of Delanta Malaga-Mua ahead of Stephen Earl, run by Kessel Racing in his 111 Ferrari. Pier Feligioni behind in the Gallardo, pale blue colours. Ferraris and Lamborghinis seem to handle the circuit in quite different manners. Stephen Earl, once you get sort of turn 9, 10, is all over the back of the Lamborghini in front. It looks like Lamborghinis might just have a little bit more top-end speed. And again, look at this. Stephen Earl being held up by the Lamborghini, because that's not a place you would choose to stick your nose around the outside. But he has to do something rather than lift off or ram him, because he's got a car right behind. So Stephen Earl looking to make a pass, because effectively he has to look to make a pass or just get bottled up behind. I think at the moment, the darker blue of the Lamborghinis, Delanta Malaga-Mua's Huracan, is the one that is the stopper in the bottle, and that's leaving Stephen Earl very vulnerable to attack from Pier Feligioni. And has also brought into play this car, the black and chrome Ferrari of Pavel Strukov. Stephen Earl again showing his nose down the hill into turn 10, but again didn't have enough in under braking. Well, if the Lamborghini continues to run off wide there, he's going to lose the place anyway. Stephen Earl couldn't avoid contact there, held the line, went through for 8th place. The question is that going to have any long-term knock-on effect or problems for either the Lamborghini or the Ferrari? Stephen Earl will not want to record a no score. He moves up to 8th place. And again, you can see the Lamborghini just completely runs out of road. Stephen Earl stays on the grey stuff, makes the corner, and gives as much room as he can on the way in, but eventually there's only the apex left on the track. He was there, and Delanta Malaga-Mua, having run out wide and made the mistake, had no business in trying to retake that bit of track from the Ferrari, I'm afraid. Yes, come on, but don't go straight for the apex. James Sofronas in the Audi drops out a shot. as Murat Sultanov and Jens Reiner Müller continue their battle down at turn 10. Would have been a bit more circumspect this time. He already lost this place. What is currently third because he was making a lunge and got it wrong. Doesn't want to give another one away. This is one of two entertaining battles for position. Here we go. Jens Müller getting the run on the Ferrari. As they come over the crest, he's not got any additional steam here. The Kessel racing car holds the middle line. So Jens Müller's going to have to bat a little bit cleverly here. The problem is, turn 1 and 2 are one thing, but then you get a long turn 3. And if you haven't got a move done, it's not happening there. Need the grip too much. So Murat Sultanov hanging on still out front in this third place battle. Coach McKenzie and the HP Racing green and black Lamborghini. 5th place for him, ahead of Luigi Lucchini in the red and white Ferrari. So we've got Ferrari, Honda, Lamborghini, Ferrari here. Top 3, Mercedes, Audi and Ferrari. And there's the Audi in 2nd place. And James Sofronas now about 3.4 seconds away from this 4-car train. Frustrating times, I'm sure, for Jens Reiner Müller and probably also for Coach McKenzie. They're in the middle of this 4-car train, and any time they try and move and it doesn't work, they're in danger of giving away a position rather than gaining one. This time Sultanov not feeling the pressure so much, more on the racing line, but you see he's working harder in the Ferrari to hang on. I wonder if that is telegraphing itself to the closely following Jens Reiner Müller. Müller there in the NSX. 2nd year of GT3 racing for Honda's new NSX. And it's looking more of a contender now. Here's a problem, and this might have to, well, let's see if Pavel Strukov can get the car turned round. He's gone out very wide in the gravel out to the final corner, looped it round, up against the pit wall, and now he's got it buried in the gravel. So what was looking like maybe we would not have to have a safety car is now starting to look like maybe we might. Not sure that car is moving out of there. Yeah, very, very wayward. He's had a couple of lurid moments. Managed not to slap the wall, but then unfortunately didn't have a spin turn in him to turn the car around within the width of the track, ran out wide and back into the gravel trap. So yellow flags are out. And safety car is scrambled. There it is, waiting for our race leader. And Denis Remignaco will be going, oh, really? Now, he may well have identified the miscreant as compatriot Pavel Strukov. But that means that a very handy lead for the Mercedes driver will come down to about a car length over James Sofronas in the Audi. And having seen how quick the Audi was at the rolling start, that might be a bit of a worry for the Mercedes driver. And he was getting on for 10 seconds, building up to a 10-second lead. And and lifted off heading over the line. Came across the line 7.5 seconds in front of James Safronas. That's now all down to nothing. There's a big gap back from 6th to 7th of over 12 seconds. That will evaporate as well. And a further 20-second gap back from Fangio to Stephen Earl. And Stephen Earl will find that the cars that he's just fought his way by will also end up being right on his tail. So getting a good restart is going to be absolutely critical. For those who are looking to make up ground, and see there, Fangio has now closed that 12-second margin right up on Lucchini. Those are looking to make up ground, a restart is vital. For those who are looking to defend, it's equally vital. So heading towards 30 minutes of the race run and 17 remaining. So we've just past the exact midway point of the race. 17.5 minutes done, 17.5 minutes to go. But the safety car is out, so this is not going to get to being a 28-lapper, although with the rescue vehicle now having dragged the Ferrari out of the gravel, and onto terra firma. If they can send Pavel Strukov on his way, we might get away with just one more lap behind the safety car. So field bunched back up again, as is the way of safety cars. All the hard work of our race leader has been undone. However, the good news as they come by is that there is a rescue vehicle on the grass, but there is no longer a car in the gravel. There is Pavel Strukov. And although he twice ventured into the gravel trap on the exit of turn 16, not sure how much he actually got on board the car, because he's got going again. There will undoubtedly, as you can see, little very pale dots on the track, white spots. That's all bits of gravel. And those get flung up by the tyres and hit the windscreen like bullets. But I wonder how much Strukov is shedding. Doesn't seem to be vast amounts. So race control confirmed that we are good to go green. Safety car lights will go off at the end of timing sector 2, and the safety car will be in at the end of this lap. Again, our race director Alain Adam, fully in charge of the safety operation from the race control room here at the Circuit de Catalunya. And just about as the lights are going off on the safety car, the second half of the field here should join with the first half, and the entire peloton will be all back together. The breakaway has been reeled in, the peloton is gathering speed, and we are getting ready to go green again. And Denis Remenjako should have been backing the field up a little more than what he is, because he is right behind the safety car and needs a little bit more of a long run-in to try and guarantee himself an advantage. Now he'll try and start dropping back from turn 10 onwards. There is a puncture on the 55 car. This is Frederic Fangio. He was dropping back, the car was smoking heavily. And is that Fangio? No, it's not, it's Stephen Earl. Ah, now, this is contact having its long-term effect, isn't it? That's contact with Malagamua's car. Remember when the Lamborghini came back on, having run out very wide and hit Stephen Earl? We are going green anyway. Safety car comes in. And Stephen Earl will have to pit at the end of the lap, and that will drop him right to the tail of the field. And he comes in with a puncture now. Here's the battle for the lead. James Safronas in the GT2 Audi overhauls the Mercedes and takes the lead. And and just keeps his nose in front. Denis Remignaco just trying to get an overlap back into turn 2. It didn't happen for him, though. Now, the question is, with Sofronas getting more familiar with A, the car, and B, the circuit, and having worked his way up and taken the lead as down the inside goes Jens Müller. Great move to catch Sultanov by surprise. Oh, and Sultanov gassing it up wildly out of turn 4. And that's going to cost him down into turn 5. Coach McKenzie trying to go the long way around the outside, or forced to go the long way around the outside. Now he's going to try and cut back as well, keep the Russian under pressure. And behind McKenzie, Luigi Lucchini in the BMS Ferrari is also having a go. Car number 7. McKenzie unlucky there. The road just didn't run right for him. So, big changes at the restart. James Sofronas leading in the Audi. And up to third now is Jens Reiner Müller. And Müller right on the back immediately of leader Denis Remignaco. So the Audi ahead of the Mercedes by not very much, but just enough. Remignaco, don't forget, was the fastest man in qualifying. So around here, at least in theory, his car is faster than the Audi. And it is also faster than Jens Müller's Honda. However, in theory, and at the end of a 45-minute race, may not necessarily be exactly the same thing. Sofronas leads across the line. Half a second clear. And the battle is on between Remignaco's Mercedes and Renaud Müller's Honda. That's for second place. Murad Sultanov in 4th position, the man who lies second in the overall standings to Jens Reiner Müller. And the crafty Dane catching his Russian rival by surprise on the first lap away from the safety car. Dived past him and really caught the Russian napping. Now he's going to have to do something similarly inventive to get by Denis Remignaco. Remignaco pulling away from the Honda and towing up to the back of James Sofronas in the Audi that leads the race. Still 10 minutes to go. I think Sofronas is in for a lot of pressure here. Great wastegate chatter from some of these turbocharged cars. I think that's the wastegate chatter of a 488. Sofronas keeps the Audi in front. And Remignaco all over the back of him in the big silver Mercedes. They are creeping away from Jens Reiner Müller. Müller's best lap of 49.89. 49.89 rather, is half a second slower than Remignaco's best. It is actually better than the best lap of the race of James Sofronas. I think Sofronas has lost less speed as the race has progressed than his rivals, and as a result, the Audi, having taken the lead, holds on just about half a second in front. Now Remignaco must be wishing now that this was like Formula 1, and if he's within a second, he gets a DRS assist down the straight or some kind of boost, but he don't. So Remignaco and the Mercedes is going to have to find a way by the Audi. He's got plenty of time in which to try. Both cars leaving big black stripes off the road there. Dropping down to the low point behind the pits and starting to climb back up. Over this fast brow at turn 9, and Remignaco and the Mercedes is trying to shape up a move down into turn 10. How close will he get? No, the Audi's got good traction off the corner, and he's nowhere near close enough. He's carrying a lot more speed in than James Sofronas. Sofronas is just able to carry more speed out. So real battle between these two very different cars. The front end to Mercedes carries a lot of speed from entry to apex, but the Audi is building speed better from apex to exit. And frustratingly, Remignaco closes right in, almost to the extent of getting an overlap mid-corner, but Sofronas leaves him on the way out. Doubly frustrating now for the Mercedes driver is that Jens Reiner Müller is not being dropped. He's just set fastest sector of his race on the last lap in sector 1. Has the Honda driver. And again, Remignaco, that early corner advantage is being undone on the way out. He had a full wheel overlap on Sofronas in the Audi. Couldn't capitalize, and he's always having to send it outside, and that makes it harder. Sofronas deep in on the brakes this time. I think the Mercedes has got better braking at the moment. The GT2 Audi always losing ground into the turns. Sofronas keeping his calm under real pressure from Remignaco. Got to give full credit to the Russian driver. He is throwing everything at this. And Jens Reiner Müller is right with him as well. So I think Remignaco is having to just ignore the fact that the Dane is there in the Honda and give this everything. There's not many corners on any of the last few laps, really, since the restart, that Remignaco has not been all over the Audi like a rash. Clock is ticking. I'm sure what seems like a perilously slow rate for James Sofronas. Still 6¼ minutes to go. How much longer? Because with every corner, the Mercedes looks more and more likely to make it by. And Jens Reiner Müller is close enough in that Honda that if the door is opened by Remignaco, I think Müller's going by as well. And it'll be because he's managed somehow to force Sofronas to defend in the wrong place and run out too wide. Again, the Mercedes pushes. Again, Sofronas really off the racing line in the middle of the road. Can't use the full racing line because it leaves too much door open on the way in, and that's where the Mercedes is strongest. So defend on the way in and squirrel off the corner as quickly as you can. If he hasn't got by, he's not going to get by on a short shoot around the back of the circuit. The real danger, perhaps, for Sofronas is down into turn 5, down into turn 10, and down into turn 1. Here we go, down the hill. And again, look for the Mercedes, desperately hoping that he's going to be able to get close enough to lunge inside, but he can't this lap. Not without guaranteeing contact. Off the corner, here he goes down the inside. Sofronas is still there, but leaves the door wide open. Sofronas just left the racing room for Remignaco, and that's a great bit of driving from Remignaco to make the move, and from Sofronas to realise and register instantly that to defend it would require contact, and that is not his remit with this brand new GT2 Audi. So off goes Remignaco, and now for Jens Reiner Müller, he's got to come knocking with a similar degree of aggression and confidence. 4 minutes and a quarter to go. But Remignaco is gone in the Mercedes, and now he's not bottled up behind the Audi. I think he's got more pace than Jens Reiner Müller can handle. And I think Remignaco, who was already 1.4 ahead of Müller at the line, will be likely twice that at the end of this lap. Fastest first sector of the entire race by anybody for Denis Remignaco on the opening part of this lap. He is determined, now that he's got by that wretched Audi, it is not going to be close enough to get by him again. He built a big lead, he couldn't do anything about the safety car. was evident from the rolling start originally that the Audi was going to be very quick at the restart. Now, Roman Jarko may not have seen all of that and known all of that, but we watching did. And sure enough, the Audi went steaming by him into turn 1. James Sofronas held on until what will turn out to be probably 4 laps from the end, before in the end, the superior braking abilities, rather than anything else in the Mercedes, are what undid the Audi. Roman Jarko was always there, always creeping alongside, always getting an overlap, and then managed to hook up the traction between 13 and 14 to get his nose inside at the chicane, and through he went. And Sofronas now in second place, Jens Muller in third. And for the Dane, second or third, that will do very nicely. Thank you to get very close to putting this out of, well, I should have started doing some maths, shouldn't I, to put this out of reach. 2 minutes and a quarter. Talk amongst yourselves. I can't do arithmetic on air. Jens Muller, of our championship contenders, he's second. Does the Audi score points? Not sure it does. It's a GT2 car, the others are all GT3s. I think this is just a convenient place for the Audi to be given a debut. And down the inside, Murat Sultanov now. That really does make a difference to Jens Muller, because Sultanov definitely does score championship points. He is second in the championship. And that caught Muller by surprise, as much as Muller's move earlier on Sultanov caught the Russian by surprise. So the Kessel Racing Ferrari back up to what is effectively second. And Denis Remenjako 3.3 seconds clear. And on the left-hand side, is that Stephen Earle out of the pits going very slowly? Yes, it is. Oh, no, it's not. That's they've caught Pavel Strukov, who went off earlier. Stephen Earle is back out of the pits and circulating, having stopped with that puncture. So Stephen Earle will not win the iron category here. Oh, and through into second. The Audi goes straight on. Through into second goes Murat Sultanov, but where has James Sofronas come back on? And Sultanov now under pressure from Jens Muller, who gets it inside him into 16, beginning of the last lap. The Audi, the Jammer car, is right in front. The Honda is back in front of its closest championship rival. Sultanov sends it down the inside, and he moves back ahead of Muller. Needs somebody to do some very rapid arithmetic. We've got a minute and a quarter to sort this out. They're on the final lap of the race. Is the championship going to be decided in this one, or does it carry on to the final round tomorrow? .38 points clear was Jens Muller. Oh, and Sultanov doing everything he can inside the Audi. Well, whatever else we're learning about the Audi is that if it had better brakes at the start, it has not got better brakes at the end of the race. It is losing out under braking in the final third of the race to the GT3 cars. Denis Remenjako long gone now. Up to second place, though. From fourth at the beginning of the lap is Murat Sultanov. James Sofronas third on the road, ahead of Jens Muller. And Coach McKenzie still in fifth place on the road and still comfortably leading the Titanium Cup. Stephen Earle second in the Iron Cup to Louis-Philippe Sonnen. So checker flag is out. It will be a pole to flag victory for Denis Remenjako, which does not tell the entire story, but the Russian does get a victory under his belt. The Audi third rather at the line behind Murat Sultanov. So with Sultanov in second place, Jens Muller needed only 8th place to tie up the title, and that means that with 1 round remaining, Jens Reino Muller wins the title. Our race 1 winner, Capital Racing Team and Dennis Oremen-Jaco in the only Mercedes in the field. And we said it a couple of years in a row that this track does tend to suit a Mercedes very nicely, thank you. There's something about it. And certainly it looks here in the GT Sports Club opening encounter as if the Mercedes has got what it takes. I don't think it's just down to Oremen-Jaco, but a good combination of having certain advantages in the car, knowing what they were and being able to use them against varying different rivals. So with 25 points on the table, I'm being advised by somebody who is doing the arithmetic that Jens Reino Muller, finishing 3rd, gets 165 points at the end of today. And Murad Sultanov will be on 130. So the gap will be 35 points, and that means that Muller is champion. So victory for Mercedes and Dennis Oremen-Jaco. The Ferrari of Murad Sultanov a fighting 2nd. James Sofronas in the GT2 Audi in 3rd. And whether or not he is visible for points, Jens Reino Muller 3rd or 4th, that will do. He is the champion. Coach McKenzie, the titanium points leader and victor in this race, and behind Stephen Earle in 2nd in the Iron Cup in the race, behind Louis-Philippe Sonnen. But Stephen Earle came in here with a 63-point advantage, and I think that makes absolutely guaranteed that he is our Iron Cup champion. Coach McKenzie, it was a little tighter, but he has his closest rival. Lee Mull was not here, so he is guaranteed to be the champion in the Titanium Cup. So I think we have all 3 titles decided here. Dennis Oremen-Jaco, a Russian driver. That was a hard-won victory, wasn't it? Yes, he was on pole. Yes, he finished the race in front. And yes, he set the fastest race lap, but he had to work hard for that, particularly when the Audi got by at the safety car restart. That was when you saw the racing driver coming out, because he knew that he had an advantage and he worked on every single corner to try and exploit it. There you go. There is a very happy man, and it looks like a very happy family as well. So our top 3, Dennis Oremen-Jaco, Murad Sultanov, and in 3rd place, James Sofronas. So Sultanov worked hard as well, didn't he? Up and down, up and down, up and down. Never gave up trying. And somehow, not once but twice, managed to catch Jens Reino Muller by surprise. Well, let's get down into our winner's circle and catch up with Louise Beckett.
Yeah, I knew you were going to get me, but good job. Thank you. Well done.
Dennis Oremen-Jaco, you lost the lead after the safety car, but you were not giving up that one easily, were you?
Yeah, I never give up, because we have a pretty good team. We had training last weekend, Capital Racing team together with Get Speed, so that was really nice experience. And I would like to say thank you, Fabian. Fabian is my trainer, the one who teach me how to drive. So he made a good job. So, but for today, our team made an excellent car. So I was 100% sure that we can go from the beginning till the end. So I'm just waiting for my time.
Well done. That looked tough.
Pardon?
It looked difficult.
it doesn't look so difficult. It looked like really fun, you know. Artem told me in the middle of the race that, oh, it's you know, nothing to watch in TV. So we have to do something. And there's an accident and safety car. So and the guy on Audi overtook me. So and that the battle began. So that was nice, really. That was fun. That was cool race. I liked it.
Thank you for the entertainment. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, congratulations to Denis Remignaco. Definitely the safety car livened proceedings up a lot, didn't it? Particularly for him, and he must have wondered if he was going to get back in front of the Audi, but he did. So Jens Reiner Müller with a 32-point advantage then over Murad Sultanov, and that means that he is confirmed as champion. 25 points on offer for victory tomorrow would not be enough. However, Coach McKenzie, could he somehow pull off a win with Sultanov not scoring, could move up to second place. Behind Lee Mole will continue to drop down the order, as will Mario Cordoni and Christian Hook, as they are not here this weekend. Stephen Earl then may start to move up the overall order, as well as in terms of the Iron Cup, where he is the champion. So Louis-Philippe Cernan here finishing just ahead of Stephen Earl, after Earl picked up a puncher following contact with the Lamborghini of Delanta Malagamua, after Malagamua ran out of road, ran out wide, and then came back on and punted into the Ferrari. But after stopping the pits, Stephen Earl still finishing in second place in the class. So with our podium ready for our top three, you heard James Sofronas, the driver there in the white suit with red epaulets on the Audi, just offering his congratulations to Denis Remignaco. It was a well-fought battle by Remignaco, and good defence as well by James Sofronas. He hung on as long as he could hang on, and then when the writing was on the wall, he read it. And that's a decent bit of gentlemanly driving. It was entertaining from the start, with Jens Reiner Müller making a much better start in the Honda, but through from row 2, Murad Sultanov really put the cat among the pigeons. Spanner in the works for the Mercedes driver, but Remignaco quickly put himself back in front. Problem for Angelique de Tavernier, and in the queue cars behind the number 24 Lamborghini, Stephen Earl in the 111 Ferrari, and that would come back to be a feature later on. Molotov under pressure, Sultanov rather under pressure, and then Stephen Earl moving by the number 24 car, got hit as it rejoined. The spinning Pavel Strukov brought out the safety car, and at the restart, the Audi, quick in a straight line, took the lead, but after a lot of badgering and some really impressive work, Denis Remignaco unlocked the secrets, moved through the Audi into second, and then again, Murad Sultanov firing his way by Jens Reiner Müller for third. Victory for the Mercedes and Denis Remignaco. Murad Sultanov taking second at the line from James Sofronas in the Audi. Jens Reiner Müller in fourth position. Coach McKenzie winning the titanium class, and it was Louis-Philippe Cernan who won the Iron Cup. So tomorrow's race will be pure enjoyment, as if today's wasn't for these guys. Don't think anybody gets out of these cars looking particularly disappointed with their day, whether you're racing a Mercedes, a Ferrari, Lamborghini or whatever. It all looks like highly entertaining stuff. But with the titles safely locked away. You can see on the upper left-hand side of your picture, in the pre-podium room, everybody is taking a breather, a bottle of water. It was definitely hot work there in those cars. So our first podium for the Blancpain GT Sports Club for this weekend. And we should have our overall top 3 and the titanium winner and the Iron Cup winner as well. So 3rd place from the USA, James Safronas. A great honour for him as well to be chosen to give Audi's GT2 car its world premiere. He finished in 3rd, Murad Sultanov. A really great battling race from him in the Ferrari. Ended up in 2nd place. And a great battle as well for Denis Remenyako. The Russian driver in the Mercedes, claiming the overall victory. So congratulations to our race winner, to our podium finishers. And our trophies being presented first to our 3rd place finisher, James Safronas. And to our runner-up, Murad Sultanov. And to our jubilant race winner, Denis Remenyako. Now, unfortunately for Dennis, he's racing again at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. Otherwise, I think he might be enjoying a liquid libation and celebration this evening. Marc Junot presenting another trophy to James Safronas. Now, is that for the top GT2 car? May well be, who knows. So there is your overall podium. 1, 2, 3. And the start of a new chapter in GT racing with Audi making its GT2 World debut here. There's a well-experienced hander-outer of champagne bottles. So they all, all smell like champions. And Denis Remenyako deciding he'd do a quick run without the trophy. He comes back for that. Right, we'll wait for our cue. Okay, there we go. That's the word I was looking for. The titanium trophy is next up. So our race winner, Coach McKenzie, and the runner-up in this race in the Titanium Cup was Dilanta Malagamua. And there's the ever-enthusiastic Stephen Earle in the background of the shot. So Dilanta Malagamua, the cause of Steve Earle's puncture. And there is your race winner, Coach McKenzie. And also the Titanium Cup champion. So his 5th win so far this season. So trophy for our runner-up, Dilanta Malagamua, the Lamborghini Huracan driver. And our race winner, Coach McKenzie, also in the Lamborghini Huracan. His 2019 spec car, the Titanium Cup winner here, as he has been already on 5 occasions this season. 1 retirement, that was in race 1 at Paul Ricard. And he has not been off the class podium when he has finished. So he has now 5 wins, 2 second places and 1 third. And so the Titanium Trophy for drivers aged between 50 and 59. And then our Iron Cup, and this is for the proper snow-capped club. Drivers age 60 plus. All those just entering middle age. So the Iron Cup, in 3rd place was Kessel Racing's Rick Lovett. In 2nd position, also run by Kessel Racing, Dr. Steve Earle. Don't leave him hanging. Come on, Rick. But our race winner here was Louis-Philippe Cernan in an AF Corsa Ferrari. So again, congratulations to our podium finishers. 3rd place for Rick Lovett. The Canadian, his American teammate, Dr. Stephen Earle, takes 2nd. And victory for AF Corsa's Louis-Philippe Cernan from Belgium. Cernan 2nd in the championship. That moves him up another couple of points closer to Stephen Earle, but Stephen cannot now be caught. He is the Iron Cup champion. And Louis-Philippe Cernan can't be caught by Rick Lovett either, so he'll be the series runner-up. Rick Lovett in 3rd in the points. And Lee Mole will in fact finish 2nd in the Titanium Cup. Come on, Stephen, if you go home to your wife without a trophy, she's going to make you come racing again. And you know how much you hate to do that. One of life's eternal enthusiasts, Stephen Earle. Always a good fun chat. So that rounds things out then for race 1 of the Blancpain GT Sports Club. And at 6:10 local time, that means that the track will now fall silent for the evening. So that is it. Join us for the final encounter of the season tomorrow. Race gets off at 11. That's 9 GMT. We'll see you then. Bye for now.